You're a broke grad student who just became the literal demon lord in a game you've beaten 19 times. But instead of conquering the world like every other bullied, broken, I'm the victim, isekai MC that finally tastes what it feels like to be above everyone and just wants to vent their frustration on a world that didn't even do them wrong, I mean, you know what I'm talking about.
Hey everyone, so let's be real for a second. Editing manga and manhwa recaps is exhausting. I used to spend hours just manually keyframing hundreds of panels, suggesting curves and sorting them. It was honestly draining the fun out of creating content. So, being a bit of a nerd, I decided to code a solution. I built a script originally just for myself to automate this process purely to save my own sanity. But after using it for a while and realizing how much time it saved me, I realized I couldn't keep this to myself, hence I decided to polish it up and share it with you guys. This is the Manga/Manhwa Recap Animator. It's an After Effects extension designed to automate the heavy lifting of manga recap animation. Today, I want to walk you through exactly how it works tab by tab so you can see how it handles everything. Alright, let's start with the first tab, General. This is where we tell the script how to interpret your timeline. First, you have your timing type. You can stick to fixed timing if you want every image to last, say 5 seconds, using the fixed timing duration placeholder. This will take all valid layers in the composition and set their duration to the chosen value. But, and this is my favorite feature, I highly recommend using audio sync. This feature analyzes your audio layers and automatically stretches or shrinks your visual panels to match the length of your voiceover segments perfectly by detecting the audio duration for each section and timing the images to the voiceovers accordingly. Next is the background setup. Since most manga and manhwa panels don't fill a 16:9 screen, you usually get those ugly black bars. You have 2 ways to handle this here under Source Mode. Option 1 is Auto Clone Layers. This takes your current panel, clones it, blurs it, and puts it in the background to fill the empty space automatically. Option 2 is Manual Add Layers. This is great if you want to use a specific wallpaper or a custom texture behind your panels instead of a blurry clone. If you choose this, you just drop your own background images into the timeline, make sure they have BG in the layer name, and the script will use those specific images as the background source. You can also control the ease direction of that background, making it slide top to bottom, bottom to top, or, my preference, alternating, which switches direction every cut to keep things dynamic. Now, down here in the Utilities section, we have some really cool quality of life tools. First is the Auto Trim. If you check this, the script will automatically crop your composition duration to match your content, so you don't have empty dead space at the end. Second is the Auto Resize. This is a massive lifesaver. You check this, open the settings, and type in the name of a reference layer, like your first panel. The script will then resize all other selected layers to match that exact width, keeping everything uniform. Third, we have Sort Audio. This tool is essential for keeping your timeline clean. If you drag a bunch of voiceover clips or audio clips in general into your timeline, they usually pile up on top of each other or load in a random order. Instead of organizing them manually, with this you just select your audio layers, click Sort Audio, and the script automatically sorts them alphanumerically as the script looks at the file names like Audio 1, Audio 2, Audio 10, sorts them in the correct numerical order, and automatically sequences them one after another on the timeline. But the most powerful feature here is the Master Control. If you check this box, the script creates a null layer at the top of your timeline. This acts like a remote control. Instead of adjusting effects on 50 different layers individually, you can adjust the settings on this one master layer and it updates the entire video in real time. It means you can change the color, blur, or shadows of every layer at once just by tweaking one slider later on. You can choose to link the layer FX, the post FX, or both. And speaking of effects, we now move to the second tab, which is called Effects. This is where we stop your video from looking like a PowerPoint presentation and start making it look like an actual animation. At the top, we have our primary layer FX. These apply directly to your manga panels. Roughen, this adds roughness edges to give your images a torn paper or organic look, getting rid of those sharp digital corners. You can adjust the border, fractal complexity, and scale right here. Stroke, this adds a border around your image. You can customize the color, size, and opacity. You can even change the blend mode to things like dissolve or linear light for stylized borders. Shadow, essential for depth. It adds a drop shadow to separate your panel from the background. We have full control here. Distance, spread, size, and you can even use this direction preset dial to choose where the light comes from. Wiggle, this adds a subtle handheld camera shake. It makes the video feel alive instead of static. Blur BG, this controls how blurry that automatic background layer gets. You can set it to blur horizontally, vertically, or both. Below, we have post-process effects. These are overlay effects that sit on top of everything to tie the look together. Vignette, this darkens the corners to focus the viewer's eye on the center. You can control the amount, angle, and highlight pinning. Particles, this adds floating dust or atmosphere. You can choose different types like lines, stars, or spheres and control their velocity, birth size, and gravity. It adds a really nice texture to the scene. Auto Grade, this is a powerful color correction tool. It adds sharpness and vibrance, but it also lets you tint the shadows and highlights for both the base image and the atmosphere. It helps make disparate art styles look like they belong in the same video. Alright, let's get things moving in the Animation tab. This is where you decide how your panels enter the screen. The script is smart. It randomly picks animations from the list you enable here. We have your standards, zoom in, zoom out, and slides from all 4 directions. But here is where it gets smart. We have large pan and full pan. If you have a really tall manhwa or manga strip, the script detects it and automatically applies a vertical pan so the viewer scans it either top to bottom or bottom to top. If you have a wide landscape shot, full pan will scale it to fill the height and pan across it either top to bottom or bottom to top. It reads the image dimensions so you don't have to. To make it feel professional, you can adjust the easing intensity. I usually leave it on smooth, but you can crank it up to explosive for action scenes. And under transitions, you can choose if layers should fade or dissolve in and out, and how long that transition takes. It allows for those buttery smooth scene changes. You can also control the focus point. For example, setting the slide key position to 50% means the panel will slide in, stop in the middle for you to read, and then slide out. And last but not least, the Rename tab. Okay, this last tab might look technical, but it's the secret weapon for power users. But honestly, you don't really need this feature since the renaming process should happen beforehand, but in case you want to rename layers directly in the composition, then this is for you. First, you can choose if you want to rename layers from top to bottom or bottom to top. If you just hit Rename Layers, it cleans up your timeline with numbered names like 001, 002, 0010, sorts them in the correct numerical order, and automatically sequences them one after another on the timeline. But the real power is in the tags. First is the G1, Simultaneous Group Animation. If you select a bunch of panels and click this, it tags them as a group. The script will animate all of them appearing at the same time on screen. Second is the G2, Sequential Group Animation. This tags them to appear one after another in a sequence, perfect for conversation flows. You can also force specific animations. Let's say you absolutely need a specific panel to slide in from the right. You just select it, click the A5 button, and the script renames the layer with a tag that tells the animator, hey, ignore the random settings, make this one slide right. You can even do the opposite using the disable tags below. If you have a layer that you never want to zoom, you can apply a disable tag like NOA1 and the script will ban that specific animation for that layer. Finally, down here in the footer, you've got your quality of life tools. You've got undo and redo buttons right in the panel. There's a clear button that will automatically remove all attached effects, layer styles, including keyframes attached to a layer, and a delete button to delete layers quickly. Once you're happy with your settings, you just have 2 choices. Bake Selected if you only want to animate the specific layers you've highlighted or selected, or Bake Comp to do the entire composition or timeline in one go. You hit the button, grab a coffee, and watch the script do the work. It trims the layers, creates the background, adds the effects, syncs the audio, and keyframes the animations. And that's it. Like I said, I built this for myself, but I hope it helps you guys create content faster and get your stories out there. And by the way, you can view the full rendered sample via the provided link below or in the description. Thanks for watching.